Good team win. Playing an exhibition, the guys are really excited just to get in uniform and get in front of a crowd. And a week from, I guess a week tonight, it's for real. So it was a good exhibition game. Thought a lot of guys contributed. I thought a lot of guys were ready to play, and they did a good job playing together and sharing the ball. So it's a step in the right direction, and now it's for real.
Coach, you guys are far along right now. You have your whole season ahead of you, I know, but in terms of the preseason, you guys are as far along right now as you would have hoped.
In some ways, yeah, definitely. In some ways, but as a coach, I'll watch that tape, even though it was a lopsided game. I'll find plenty. So we just got to, I think at this time of year for all coaches, you're happy about a lot of things, but you're also cautious of saying too much because games expose your weaknesses and things you got to work on. So we just got to continue to really. I told our guys, I said, I know how bad you want to play, and you can't wait to the next game. I was the same way when I was a player, but you got to be in the now, and it's all about getting better all the time and moving forward. And if you move forward as a player and keep getting better, and your team gets better, and then as a team, you hold each other accountable. You continually get better. And there's a lot of things I do like. As all of you see, we have depth, we have pieces, and we could play really hard for a few minutes, and your teammate's got your back, and he can go in and play really hard. I think that's going to be a weapon for us. I think that's going to help us. But there's still a way when you're out there. The other team wants to win too, so there's a way you got to do it, and you got to do it right.
It's also an opportunity to kind of mix and match.
Yeah, definitely.
Combinations for you.
Yeah, no matter how the game was going, there was a couple of lineups I was going to make sure we played for a 4-minute stretch, no matter what. There's a couple of guys that got in some foul trouble I probably would have taken out, but I let them play and see if I can trust them and all that stuff, and they gave me some answers that way. But definitely there were certain things today we wanted to do, but you definitely did see a lot of guys contribute.
What other individual glimpses got the most from some playmaking? Like Keyshawn had the sequence where he had the steal, basket, foul, and steal and dunk, and Corey had 6 quick points, and they had the block by Vince Williams. Just glimpses like that was certain things.
Yeah, I mean, we have some guys that can make some plays, and we all saw that. And we have some young guys that can make some plays. Now, can you do that against the best teams in your league? That makes your team better. That makes you a really good player. But I thought we did a good job. We missed some shots early instead of chucking threes. We started attacking the basket in the paint, and I think we had 19 assists on 32 baskets. So that ball's hot, and we're sharing it. We're playing downhill. Probably after the first media timeout, much better. And that got us better shots. And then I thought we did a good job throwing the ball in. And it was, there's different ways to play. And the one thing we want to play from inside out. So you can drive it, sit down and share it, throw it into the post, and let those guys go to work. They're also going to spray it out, as we like to say, and then get on the glass and get extra opportunities. And those are the things. And I think you're playing around the rim and playing in the paint. We have to play that way all the time.
Coach, what advantage is having Corey and having Marcus down the blocks, being those big bodies? What advantage does that give you this season?
Well, playing with Marcus Santos Silva, Corey, and Michael Gilmore, it's a three-headed monster. You know how hard we can play at that position for 40 minutes? I'm not sure other teams can do that every night out. We can do that every night out, and they're all different type of players. So it's just not the same guy that just shoots a jump hook or just plays on the block. They all can really move. They all go after the basketball. They all offensive rebound. That gets us extra opportunities. That gets us some easy buckets. And then on defense, they can really cover ground. We can blitz ball screens with them. We could hedge. We can switch on the guards. And then those guys, they can block shots and really defend at the rim. And I think I told these guys, for 3, 4, 5 minutes, as long as you're in there, I told all these guys, you know how much harder you can play than the guy you're playing against? Because when you need a break, your teammate can go in and play hard, just as hard or harder. That's got to become a weapon for us.
On that note, with those big guys, I think he held like 5'39" or something inside the arc. How much of that is UVA wise, and how much is just you got Corey, you got Marcus? These are good interior defenders.
Well, I think it's three things. It is our athleticism and size over a Division II school, without a doubt. I was on the other end of it. I understand that. It's been a huge emphasis since the season's been over of guarding the rim and guarding the paint and defending that at a high level. I think you saw that we're improving at that. I think our post players are pretty good and getting much better help defenders. So we didn't give up. I don't know if we gave up any layups. We pride ourselves on don't give up any layups. So that, and then we do have some length, so different guys can make some plays on the ball. And you saw a couple blocks today. You saw Vince, his great instinct on the ball. A couple of our big guys, our wings. You got IV, Kellen, and DJ. They're long, so around the basket they can make some plays when they rotate as well.
Also, sort of on that note, I know he's kind of filling in a bit, but Malik Crowfield playing point guard. He's a 6'4" point guard. He can play some D. Just with that starting group, how much of an advantage is it for the defense to have guys that can switch almost at every
Yeah, without a doubt. We could play different ways. We don't have to switch. We can switch that length, and we're trying to deny more, so that really helps. You have a guy at 6'4" with length like that. But, the thing about Malik, he's an upperclassman now, and we threw him in the fire last year, and I don't call it throwing him in the fire now. He's a player, and I think he does a really good job of keeping us solid. He doesn't make a lot of defensive mistakes because he had a good high school coach that taught him how to play off the ball and how to guard the ball, and he's carried that to here.
Kind of on that note, just one last one. Kind of who's someone you would maybe give like the Jordan Burgess Award on this team? Basically a guy who it doesn't show up in the highlights, but as a guy, as a coach, you love them because they're always doing the right things that coaches see that fans don't necessarily.
I think Corey, right now, like Corey. Well, that's the thing about Sean. Sean's, everybody knows he's a very talented player, but he does so many little things. Sean picks up a lot of his teammates' mistakes. That doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but that sure shows up on the tape tomorrow morning. Corey's the same way. Corey, throw his body around. He'll do whatever it takes for that to win that possession on both ends of the court, and he doesn't even need a high five. He just puts his head down and works. I think they're like that. Those guys in different ways, really. I don't know about Jordan Burgess. They're not there yet, but that would be nice if they get there.
With your depth with big men, how different this year is the team going to be compared to last year?
Well, I think we can play different ways. I think when you get in foul trouble or some guys get in foul trouble, there's not a huge drop, without a doubt. But the best thing about our big guys is they're very versatile. They move really well. We don't have any plotters that maybe can't. All these guys can switch out on a guard or go trap a ball screen or be involved in the press.
They can play defense hard.
Yeah, exactly. You know how hard you can play when you're only playing 3 or 4 or 5 minute stretches? You're not out there for 8, 9, 10 minutes. That happened a lot to a lot of guys last year. You don't play defense this year, you don't have to play. We took 2 guys out because they weren't playing defense hard. Guess what happened when they went back in? Played defense really hard. And the bench is an awesome teacher.
I think you also mentioned, I guess the goal was not to play anybody for over a 5 minute stretch. Is that going to be kind of the goal throughout?
Well, you just don't know. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but if somebody is hot and they're making shots, maybe they're going to play a little bit more. But I'm not. You don't crush somebody that's rolling. That's for sure. But you also how hard we can play. That's something VCU's had for a long time. That edge. We got to get back to that, and you saw a little bit of it today. We got to get better and better because we're playing against better and better teams. But we could play so hard if we outplay our opponent, no matter if some things aren't going our way on the offensive end. If we just outplay and play harder, you put yourself in a position that you want to be in.
Okay, you probably are the smartest guy in the room, by the way.
What's that?
You probably are the smartest guy in this room.
Chris got a chance. He doesn't have his degree on his wall, but we heard he graduated.
Coach, on the offensive side of the ball, as fans, we've seen 2 games of Keyshawn Curry, and he's averaging like a point a minute. But we just catch it.
And he's not shooting the ball well. At Fork Union last year, he stroked the ball really well. And it's a little faster for him, so he's in a little hurry when he's shooting the ball. We got to slow him down. That will take time.
But he just seems to always put himself in the right position for an easy bucket. Is that something he does in practice, or?
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And he's long and athletic. He's not afraid of contact. And certain guys, and I don't care. It's not coaching. Certain guys just have a nose for the ball and a nose for the rim. Travian Graham, I mean, you can say all you want, the coach has worked him really hard, but he just had a nose to put that ball in the basket or be around the ball. I think he's like that. He's got to learn to sometimes take a breath sometimes and slow down a little bit and see the game, log the game, as I like to say. But he's getting there. He's getting there. He's got to continue to work really hard. And, when you're guarding or being guarded by IV and Kel and DJ in practice every day, that's going to make you better too. But he doesn't back down from those guys, so it's making those guys better too. So he has a chance to be a really good player. He really does.
PJ Bird is a young player. Talk about what you think his maturation process has been through camp, and what do you see for him going forward?
Well, he's going to make me go gray and bald. I love the kid because he's a typical Houston guard. He just got an edge to him. He wants to play. He wants to make plays. He's just got to learn now to be a college point guard. And we're going to throw him in the fire here for sure. And, he can make plays. He can make plays. And you guys saw he can guard the ball and all that stuff. He had 3 fouls. He fouled the three-point shooter and 2 fouls 45 feet from the basket. It's a typical freshman. I did the same thing when I was a freshman point guard too, and then you blame the refs and say it wasn't a foul. But you learn to adjust and you figure that out. But he can make plays for us, and he can shoot the ball well too. And when you have a point guard that can make shots too, that he's another weapon that can continue growth and maturity. He's going to help us.
Speaking of shooting, you see Michael Gilmore short those 2 threes, and
yeah, he owes me dinner. He owes me dinner.
Of course, you talk about his length, but if he's able to put those 2 parts of the game together, I mean, how good can he be for you?
Well, he played very well in the Georgetown scrimmage. I think he was 7 for 7 from the field, and just played really hard. And today he was really excited again to get back outside. He thought at times he had happy feet, as I like to call it. He was just, and then it slowed down. And man, it's amazing when he slows down behind the three-point line, and you're going to see that a lot because he can definitely do that. And we wanted to get him a couple there just to slow him down, so it gives him great confidence. Man, I'll tell you, since he got back here, you guys would be very proud of him. Everybody should be. He's so into it. He's so appreciative of being here. His energy's off the hook every day, and he loves to be here. And when you have guys that love to be here and love to work like that, he's going to help you, and he's going to do that.
Get the coach back here.
A couple more here. Go ahead.
The guys were talking about how excited and anxious to play, partly because they said they got slapped in the mouth last year. How much was that kind of talked about during the offseason and the preseason that, what happened last year will not happen again this year?
Well, you don't know that, but when you go through that and you have an experience like that, you could either make it an excuse or make you better. And we're not allowed. I don't know if you see the signs around here, but we have a bunch of signs that say 0% complaining. I mean, if there's one thing I can teach these guys when they leave here and get in the real world is you don't get anywhere if you're complaining and making excuses. I was never allowed to do that. I was fortunate to have parents, and that's part of our motto as coaches at VCU. We're not making excuses. We're going to find it out. We didn't make one excuse. I never came in this room and threw somebody under the bus. We're not doing that. You got to get better every day. You got to find a way. You fight for your culture. You fight for your approach every day. You fight for the attitude you want in your players every day. And yeah, it's a slap in the face, but everybody goes through that. And we could sit here and talk about the things that occurred, but that isn't going to help us. You acknowledge that stuff and you take it on, and you own it, and you get better. And when we got on the track in the summer and at 6 a.m. a couple times a week, it wasn't because it was to get better. It wasn't because of last season, and it wasn't punishment. It was like we got to do things to get better. When you're in the gym and we talk about doing our vitamins after practice, and last year was 8 to 12 or 15 minutes, and guys are saying put 20 on the clock, coach. And when we say, all right, make your free throws, and not good enough, let's do it again, coach. We're getting somewhere. That doesn't mean you're going to win every game, but you got to hold each other accountable. And people could say a punch in the face, or I think it was. I'm not happy that we had a tough year last year, but man, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it happened for all of us. I'm glad it happened for our donors, our alumni. I'm glad it happened for our players. I'm glad it happened for the coaches, because nothing's guaranteed, and we don't have a right to be in the NCAA tournament It's not how it's supposed to be. You got to fight and earn that every day. And that's the lesson we got to teach our guys. Not entitled to that that's going to happen. That if you want something in life and in the world or in basketball, you got to go get it. And you know, I woke up every morning after the season and said, all right, how I got to make these guys better? I didn't complain. I knew what I took over. It wasn't the VCU basketball program, the same one. It wasn't. It was totally different. It was a skeleton. But you know what? What were we going to do? Complain and cry about it? No way, man. No way. We get to wake up every day and be VCU basketball players and coaches. Fight like crazy. You know, you guys made fun of that all year. I kept saying that all the time, but that's what it's about. And that's the lesson we taught our guys is, you know, appreciate this every day, but let's go get what we want. And the only way you do that is you work for it without making excuses. That's some pontificating right there.
Kind of on that note of culture, and time back to the last question of Michael Gilmore, how much of an advantage is it to have a player who has been at VCU, went to Miami, went to Florida Gulf Coast, and is back at VCU, to have him, you know, as sort of a player coach who can tell all of these young guys, listen, I've been in the ACC, I've been in these places. And just
you don't know how good you have it. That's what he tells our guys. I'm telling you, this is so good. He told one of our coaches last week, he goes, Coach, we're doing it right. We're doing it right. He goes, we're holding everybody accountable. We're working so hard, and it's about each other. We're doing it right. Well, he's been around, and you know, his career has been peaks and valleys, and he's been around, and he's saying that with excitement, and he's been around for a long time. I think that's huge. But what's great is, you know, he'll grab a guy in practice, put his arm around them, and say, hey, you're going to be all right. Just keep fighting, keep working. And when an older guy says that, who's been through everything like he's been through, I mean, that's better than a coach telling a player that.
Anybody else?
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. You bet. Thank you.